Hi, my name is Sarah Brown. Today I'm going to show you a DIY tutorial on how to transform your plain stainless steel cup into a work of art. I'm going to show you how to transform this into something a little bit more like this. I'll take you step by step through the process on how to achieve this glittered leopard print epoxy tumbler. Now I've seen these for sale for around $100, so I want to show you how to save a little bit of money and do it yourself. So I'm going to show you what supplies you need and we'll get started. Just a tip for spray painting. You want to have your spray can about 1 foot back from where your cup is, and you want to spray in short bursts with side-to-side motion. So you spray and turn. When you do the short burst like that, it makes it to where it's not very thick and it's not going to run. If you spray it too thick, you're going to get run lines down your cup that it's really hard to recover after that. Now that our cup has dried from our glitter paint and our sealer, this is what it should look like. You're going to want to remove the lid. And now it's time to leopard print. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your Mod Podge and your glitter and your art brushes. So I've got a bigger art brush right here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it in my Mod Podge and I'm going to paint leopard spots. Now these do not have to be perfect because leopard spots are not perfect. So I'm just going to go all over my cup, just random places. Make sure you have quite a bit of Mod Podge on there so it'll hold the glitter. And you want all different sizes. So then your first step is going to be to apply the brown glitter. So I'm just going to do some of the spots. I'm going to go back in and fill this in a lot more. But for the brown, I put a paper plate down, and then I'm just going to pour the glitter where I have Mod Podged. Then it creates those nice spots. It's a little messy, but glitter is always messy. Okay, so that's the first step, and then what I do is I go back in with a second smaller paintbrush for the black around the brown, and you're just going to paint around the edges. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just what I do is I usually look at a leopard print online and try to match it a little bit. So you just want to do this all around your entire cup. And then you're going to pour on the black. That's brown. Here's black. So when you do that and knock it off there, you've got a leopard print. So just repeat that around your entire cup until you get the pattern that you desire. Now you should have a product that looks like this. Very glittery, sparkly, leopardy tumbler. So this is ready for epoxy. What we're gonna do is we're going to mix our epoxy. This is what I use. It's very easy. It's a 1-to-1 ratio mix. Follow the directions. You can get this at Amazon, Hobby Lobby, any craft store. This is my bracelet stand. I use this because it's horizontal. You can put the cup on there and it stays perfectly smooth and flat, and you're able to turn it because whenever you apply the epoxy, it's going to roll down to the bottom, and when it gets down to the bottom, you're going to turn it so it doesn't drip. So I've got my epoxy here already mixed. I'm going to put a paper plate underneath the cup just to catch the drips. I've got my foam paintbrush. I've got my rubber gloves. I'm going to put those on because it is not fun to get epoxy off of anything. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to pour the epoxy in a straight line down the center, all the way across the cup. I'm pretty generous with the epoxy, especially with this leopard glitter print, because we need a lot to cover all the bumps. So take your paintbrush and kind of guide the epoxy down the side of the cup. See, it's already starting to drip off the bottom. So as soon as you guide that, you can turn your cup over. And I usually pour a little bit down this side as well. And I guide just very lightly. I'm barely holding on to my paintbrush. Just give it kind of a path to follow so it starts rolling down the edges on its own. Let's turn it a quarter of the way. I'll do it one more time, all the way down. Guide it with the brush down both sides. You'll notice little air bubbles along the way, and you can use your brush to thin those out. Let's see, So once the entire cup is coated with epoxy, you're just going to kind of sit here and babysit the cup for a little while. You're going to watch it run down the side, and then once it gets to the bottom where you see the drip line, you're going to turn it around to the other side. Epoxy takes about 24 hours to cure, so you kind of have to keep watching the cup for probably the first hour. You need to continuously turn it, or maybe the first 20 minutes or so you need to turn it every couple minutes. But then whenever it starts to cure and harden, it's not going to drip as much, but you're going to want to continue to turn it for a couple of hours. Just keep an eye on it, just depending on how thick it is and how fast it's curing. So that's basically it on the epoxy. Just keep watching it and keep turning the cup. When you get the drip line down at the bottom, turn it to the other side so it will drip to the other side, and that just helps it even out, and it makes it pretty smooth. So this is the first coat of epoxy. After this dries and cures for 24 hours, you'll do one more coat of epoxy just to make it extra thick. The shiny look is really pretty, and I think it makes it look just a little bit better. So by now you should have a leopardy, glittery, shiny epoxied cup. So I only put one coat of epoxy on this, but if you like the extra shiny like I do, you can go ahead and put extra coats of epoxy. Just repeat that process as many times as you like. I'll probably put one more coat on this one and I'll be good. But this is pretty much what it'll look like. I just like the extra shine. That's why I'll do the extra coat of epoxy. So by now you should be able to create this. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below my video and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions and help out any way I can.